as well. And I kind of understand that, Micah Parsons yesterday, because, now you're sitting there saying, wow, do I want to risk my pro career by playing football for nothing?
Well, there is that. But again, Micah Parsons, he's a guy that's going to be a top 10 pick.
Right.
He's put his film out there. He's got enough for him to be able to, to sit out a year and still be a high pick. But you look at like a Jacob Panishuk, who I know is sitting out for Michigan State. That's a tougher decision because maybe you're a guy that's a mid-round guy, maybe you're a late-round guy, and you're trying to put as much on film as you can to, creep up draft boards, or at least stay on a draft board. And that's, again, I can't imagine because you mentioned this earlier, I work for SiriusXM some as well and do the Big Ten channel. There are commits that, there's been a couple for Ohio State. I think we're going to see it around the country. High schoolers and seniors in high school that are saying, hey, we're not going to play our senior year. Some of them may not even have that choice because they're going to cancel the season, but they're having to say that I'm not going to play my senior season. When I look over the course of my career, I have a lot of great moments. The national championship season, every year in the NFL. But when I look back to my senior year of high school and playing that year, there's so many things that make me smile. And if there was that gap in my memory, if I did not have that opportunity, I would, to this day, I would feel robbed.
But, even when you played at Clawson High School, correct?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay, so they didn't have guys who were going, the top recruits. So you were going to Michigan. People didn't enroll in school in January back then. So now, if in some cases, in some, states, they're going to play high school football, they hope to, in the spring, the people who have already, committed to the big schools, the star now, there's not that many of them comparatively to the rest of the roster. They're not going back. They're not playing spring football, and their coaches are even telling them, look, I'd be selfish. I'd love for you to play. We win a state championship, but I got to protect you. You're not playing because you could get hurt. You should be enrolling in school in January already, right?
Yeah, and just think about this. If this happens, and it could be one of those anomalies that you look back on in 20 years and say, who played 60 games in their college career? If they push the college football season to the spring, then those early enrollees may get a chance to play because there's discussion that you're still going to get 4 years to play 5. But if you play, say 8 games in the spring and another 12 games in the fall, you get 20 games in 1 year. That would be, that just to me would be a great opportunity. Not that there'd be a lot of kids, and if you're playing that early, probably you're going to the NFL early. But, to look back and say, hey, I was one that had an opportunity to play in 60 or 65 college games, and that's a great experience as well. So there's a lot of negatives, but we're trying to find every positive we can about the situation we're in.
So let me go back to something we started with. Thursday night
starting
at the
route
University of Michigan.
15540 West Chicago Street.
Not during football season. What was that like for you? Because, when we talked about that, it's Thursday. So were you and the guys and was getting ready for...
I was studying.
Yeah.
I had tests on Friday. I had class to be at 8 a.m. Had to work out Friday morning. Why in the world would I be out past 9 o'clock at night? Stoney, that's a long time ago. I don't know if I can recall every scenario or situation I may or may not have been in. But Thursday nights...
Yeah, it's the beginning of the weekend.
Stay in the left
Especially in
lane.
college, a lot of times you try to schedule your classes so you don't have any on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That's...
The worst is the Monday morning class. Oh, God.
Yeah.
You do anything to avoid those.
Yeah, well, and I think there's a handful, if not a couple of handfuls of individuals that are somewhat excited about the online option because you can turn the video off, you can be sitting in bed listening to your professor and just taking it all in, soaking it in from the comfort of your bed or couch.
I guess it's some classes, but look, my kids, one goes to Michigan, one goes to Michigan State, and they both say the same thing. Online's actually harder for them because
sure
they don't get
it
the
is.
individual instruction. On the big lectures, they can, you can get the lectures anyway. Before this stuff all online. If you wanted
In 1
to.
mile,
Just-
turn
but
left
it's
onto West
incredible
Long
just
Lake
watching
Road.
them just sit there and watch a computer and keep testing classes. It's unreal.
Well, it would seem awkward to me too. Like I was a guy that always liked to sit in the front row because it forced me to pay attention. It forced me to stay awake. And every once in a while you'd get a chance to ask a question. I would think it would be very awkward to jump into a Zoom meeting to ask a question or to clarify something, and maybe you can do it on the chat and you don't have to actually voice it.
Right.
But to me, that would seem, like in a classroom, right? You raise your hand. On a video, it doesn't come across. So I think that would be the awkward part of it.
Yeah, it definitely would be, no doubt. All right. Our telephone number is 248-539-9797, which is also the text number. As we've been doing all week, our lines are open. If you want to express condolences, Jamie's story, text, whatever, that is open for you. Right now, Heather has news coming up next. Heather.
Well, you guys, there's another show from the 80s that is getting a reboot. And I'm going to let you
At the
guess,
light,
and then I'm
turn
going to tell
left
you
onto
all
West
about
Long
it.
Lake Road.
All right, Heather and news coming up next. 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by your local Lexus dealers. Mainly clear on all of the area freeways with the exception of I-75. Heading northbound just after Crooks, there is an accident now in the work zone. It's affecting the right side, so
In
far there's a little bit
3.7
of a
miles,
backup.
turn left onto
Experience
Northwest.
the joy of a bigger world at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Enjoy 0% APR for 60 months on all 2020 models. Ends August 31st. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
Jordan Main here from Main Financial Group Wealth Management with today's Main Money Minute. Losing your job, being laid off, or forced into an early retirement is hard enough. We've all been there, especially in this area. But I cannot stress enough that you shouldn't leave your retirement account behind with your former employer. You could be costing yourself tons of money in hidden fees, overexposure to the market, and costs of doing nothing. I've created a special report on strategies to avoid 401k rollover mistakes. Simply go to mfg401k.com today. That's mfg401k.com to get this valuable information. There's absolutely no obligation for this report. Thank you and stay safe, Michigan.
Investment advisory services offered through Gradient Advisors LLC, 877-885-0508, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products and services are offered through Main Financial Group. Main Financial Group and Gradient Advisors LLC are separate entities.
Hey there, it's Natalie from Google. One of my challenges here is finding candidates for IT support jobs. It's why Google's IT training program is now available for everyone. It helps you get ready for a job in under 6 months, and your resume will be considered by Google and more than 50 other employers. You don't need tech experience or a college degree. Enroll today at grow.google/IT certificate. That's grow.google/IT certificate.
Our homes today are like little cities full of different interneting boroughs, like the entertainment district in the living room, or the virtual fitness center in the garage. And Xfinity Internet keeps it all running smoothly with the fastest speed to power all your devices at once. You get coverage around town, from the financial district home office to the spa. Plus, get added protection to help keep your Wi-Fi network safe, like an at-home police station.
Xfinity Internet keeps your little city humming with reliable speed, coverage, and added security. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Get started with Xfinity Internet for $25 a month for 12 months with a 1-year agreement. You'll get advanced security free with the XFi Gateway. Plus, ask about XFi Complete for whole home Wi-Fi, unlimited data, and more. Go online, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay. Ends 8/11/20. Restrictions apply. New performance starter internet 25 megabits per second customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. After term, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed.
Yeah, buying some pretzel sticks?
Excuse me?
This is your wake-up call from TracFone Wireless.
Okay.
What if you didn't eat all those pretzel sticks by the end of the month, so this store took them back?
Good luck.
That's how some wireless companies are with your data, but TracFone Wireless gives you unlimited carryover data with active service, so you keep what you pay for. Plans start at $20 a month.
Wow, that's cool.
Sir, are you bothering the customers?
Yeah, hang on. This is your wake-up call, people. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
I saved big money with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, so I finally bought that new set of golf clubs. Watch out, Fairway. Here I come.
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big with Progressive, but your other expenses won't just disappear. Are those clubs going to help you when the hot water heater dies? Also, it sounds like your money is better spent on golf lessons.
Time to go shoot the course record.
No, but maybe time for a reality check. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From muscle pain, body aches, to strains, Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis. It works fast and you won't stink. Its unique formula with emu oil penetrates deep to relieve arthritis pain, sore muscles, joints, and more. 97.1 The Ticket and Beaumont's Student Heart Check program provides a healthy heart check for students whose families might not otherwise be able to afford it. Go to 971theticket.com, search Student Heart Check, and help make a difference in our community.
Let your voice be heard. Call the D Las Vegas 97.1 The Ticket studio line at 248-539-9797. The D Las Vegas, the home for Detroit sports in Vegas. The Detroit Tigers play the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pre-game tomorrow night at 6:40 on 97.1 The Ticket.
All right, as John Jansen said, who's in today. Beautiful day. It's going to be 80. Low tonight, about 60 degrees. Great sleeping weather if you want to sleep. John Jansen does not sleep. Tomorrow, 82 and sunny. It's going to be 80 most of the weekend, actually up to 87 on Sunday. Very little chance of rain. That's beautiful. It's time for news. Here's Heather.
All right, you guys. So Governor Whitmer signed an order yesterday declaring racism a public health crisis. And she also signed an executive order creating a Black Leadership Advisory Council to elevate Black voices. So basically what she's asking the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services to make health equity a priority and require implicit bias training for all state employees.
Today, I also signed an executive directive declaring racism as a public health crisis in Michigan. I want to thank the Michigan Legislative Black Council for their leadership. This pandemic has confirmed and highlighted the deadly nature of these pre-existing inequities caused by systemic racism. COVID-19 is more than 4 times as likely to take the life of a Black Michigander than a white one. And this reflects long-standing, deep societal, economic, and environmental disparities.
Good for her. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious when you see the numbers that there is problems there.
Definitely, and this is not the first. Michigan is not the first state to do this. Colorado and Wisconsin have also done so recently.
Okay.
That cat's all over me. It's just crazy. You know what? You can see that. It's like, oh my gosh! Every time I see something, there's a cat jumping on me.
Well, what's fun though is actually watching them sneak up on you. I saw one just a minute ago. You can't see it, but yeah, my dog is kind of doing the same thing. She's roaming around, and every once in a while you get the wet nose, and you're like, I didn't feel that one coming.
What kind of dog do you have, John?
It's a Bernese Mountain Dog. She's a puppy right now, so she's
going to be big.
She's going to be big. Yep.
Oh, cute, very cute. Besides our puppies and kittens, The first volunteers from Michigan took part in a nationwide experimental trial of a potential COVID-19 vaccine yesterday. And Henry Ford Health System, which administered the first shots to residents, is one of nearly 90 sites nationwide and the only one in Michigan that's involved in the study. And of course, these researchers are hoping to enroll 30,000 volunteers across the country to receive the vaccine. And if you are interested in participating, you can. You have to go to henryford.com/Moderna vaccine. Basically what you're going to do, you would get 2 shots about 28 days apart, and then from there you would have to visit this enrollment center, they say about 7 times, and you would be followed by study organizers who would check in about once a month for 2 years, and you would get $1,000 for participating.
Hey.
No harm, no foul.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal.
It's not bad. No. Got to be 18 or older. And there's a lot of people who were part in this first trial yesterday, and they just said, hey, if we can do anything to really speed this up and figure this virus out, and we'll take part in this trial. So there's a lot of people that are doing it, which is good.
It is.
Speaking about the coronavirus here in Michigan, Michigan's coronavirus cases, I mean, we say this almost every day, they really seem to have kind of plateaued at kind of the steady numbers we're seeing every single day. So yesterday, the state reported 657 new cases and 2 new deaths. And like I just said, those are the numbers we're seeing pretty much daily now, which I guess is a good thing. Hospitals aren't overwhelmed, the deaths aren't high.
What I'd love to see is, I don't know if we can ever get this information, not just this state, when we have the cases, how severe are the cases? Is it somebody just testing positive that are maybe asymptomatic and nothing? Is it somebody just going to have a cough for a week, or is it somebody who needs to be hospitalized?
Well, it sounds like it's obviously not somebody who needs to be hospitalized, because the hospitals are not, they're not packed, they're not overwhelmed, and obviously there's very few deaths. So it sounds like, obviously there's a lot more people getting tested, and because of that there are more people testing positive, but it sounds like it's more, whether it's asymptomatic or, very slight symptoms.
Yeah, because didn't they used to give us a number about hospitalizations?
Yes.
And they're not doing that anymore, so I gotta believe that it's gotta be somewhat getting better.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like it. Every time I do this, every single day, the numbers are either between 400 and maybe 800. So we're staying right in that range.
Well, it's the second number that matters the most.
It is, and that number has always been low too.
Good.
Yes, very good. So there's a 25-year-old woman, and she is facing charges after she physically assaulted another woman in a Staples in New Jersey, all because of a face mask. These stories never end, but this one is pretty wild. 25-year-old girl, she's facing aggravated assault, and there's a video that surfaced. She attacked this older woman, this poor older woman who recently had to have a liver transplant. So she asked the younger lady, hey, can you pull your face mask up over your nose? Can you wear it properly? If you're gonna wear one, let's do it properly. And this young woman said she wasn't having it. She went over, she grabbed the old lady's cane out of her hand, threw her on the ground. The older lady suffered a fractured leg that needed to have surgery.
I'm not laughing at the injuries, but my goodness, you grab an old lady's cane and beat her with it?
Oh, it's so awful. So thankfully, this young woman is now arrested. Yeah, it really is. It's. If I were the old woman, I'd be suing her. So maybe that will come.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
absolutely ridiculous.
Starting route to 15540 West Chicago Street.
Without ever putting on her mask anyway, so.
In half a mile, turn right onto Telegraph Road.
Staples or something. Who knows? Okay, you guys, so there's another show from the 80s that is getting a reboot. I feel like I've had one of these stories every single month. We just talked about the Wonder Years coming back, a different type of reboot. Where it's not going to be the exact same show, but it's going to be based off the original. We had 90210 at one point in time come back and completely fail, and now there's another one. I don't know if you're going to be able to guess it. This is a show.
At the light, turn right onto Telegraph Road.
I remember watching it as a kid.
The 18.
I don't think that's a sitcom.
That was a great show, though, John. That show was outstanding.
In 4.6 miles, keep right to merge onto M10 south toward I-696 East.
I was gonna say, I don't know, Taxi. Yeah, that's too long ago. This is Who's the Boss? Who's the Boss? Yeah.
Tony Danza needs some work.
Well, it's going to be a sequel, so it's not going to be a complete reboot, but Tony Danza is coming back. Alyssa Milano is coming back. They're both going to be taking over their roles as Tony and Samantha. And apparently it's going to take place 30 years after the events of the original show. And they say it's going to focus on Tony's relationship with Samantha, who is now a single mother living in the house the original series was set in.
So Alyssa Milano's still hot?
Yes.
Good.
She had still starring roles after she left, didn't she?
That's what's going to take you to watch it. Is she hot? Well,
That's fun.
who cares?
No, is she still hot? That was how he asked it. Is she still hot?
So, John, Alyssa Milano is the same age as me, so I was allowed to think she was hot back then, and it wasn't creepy.
Right.
And then, did you ever see Commando with Arnold? And,
Yes. Yeah.
Great cheesy movie from the 80s,
No
action movie.
question.
But Alyssa Milano, a huge baseball fan. She used to model like all these women's baseball outfits and things like that. What are you offended because I think she's still hot?
Come on, I mean, does it matter to watch the show?
It helps.
You said it was like, oh, if she's still hot, I'll check it out. If not, pass. That's how it came out.
Well, that's okay. You know, when you're deciding to do something in life, you know, if you're a prepared person like me,
Everybody's got their reasons.
in your pros and your cons, you're checking, you know, if she's hot, that's checking the yes column.
There might be two
All right,
checks.
Stoney. So, with TikTok on the verge of being banned here in the U.S., Facebook has officially launched its own version of TikTok. It's going to be on Instagram. We were just talking about this, Stoney, and it's called Reels. And according to Instagram, it's a new way to create and discover short, entertaining videos on Instagram. They say it will work basically exactly like TikTok does. You can make your little 15-second videos. You can edit them. They'll have music and all sorts of different filters and things like that. So there you go. There's the rival.
Oh, good. So if TikTok goes away, my daughter will be happy because she'll still have something to occupy her time.
Have you guys ever fallen into or gone down the rabbit hole of just watching and then flipping to the next video?
Of TikTok?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
that's my daughter.
Yes.
One of my daughters can sit in bed for hours and just TikTok, just watch TikTok stuff.
So I don't do it very often, but every once in a while, you know, my kids, we'll make like a TikTok video, right? And then all of a sudden I start watching them, and I literally will sit there all night long for 2 or 3 hours. And my kids are wondering, Dad, what are you laughing at? Because they come up and it's, people do the craziest things, or they get caught doing the craziest things, and it amazes me that they put this on film and put it out there.
Yes.
Well, it amazes me that people send, you know, naked pictures of people too, of themselves to people. I mean, that amazes me too. I mean, come on, John, when was the last time you sent a naked picture of yourself to a wife or to somebody? You don't do those things. No, that's nobody trusts me. That your phone might break. All right, Heather. All right. You know what? I'm going to throw an audible. We mentioned rabbit hole. 248-539-9797. You went to the TikTok rabbit hole. What things, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, you know, gets you down the rabbit hole? Because I know what some of mine have been, and some of them are ridiculous, and some of them are, you know, I understand why. 97 wanted to.
Refill this pickup at BP with Amoco Ultimate. We'll go up to 25 miles further per tank on the highway than with regular fuel.
Up to 25 miles?
Yep, we're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it.
I just said.
We're gonna make it.
Drive up to 25 miles further per tank with Amoco Ultimate with Invigorate. Available at BP and Amoco stations. Based on media difference between 93 octane Amoco Ultimate and 87 octane medium detergent E10 fuels and late model full size half-ton pickup trucks using EPA highway driving cycle. Assumes 100%
accept discount.
Hi, I'm Mark Paul Gosselaar, but you might know me better as Zach Morris, proud Bayside Lion.
Tiger.
Come on, I knew that.
Did you?
Listen, I haven't watched an episode of Saved by the Bell since I left the set over 25 years ago. Didn't watch it when it was on either. I've never seen what fans assure me is one of the